Why has Edward Woodward got so many D's in his name?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
Because otherwise he'd be called Iwa Woo.
Well, you know what Olivier said about him.
Sorry, we're on.
No, it's fine. Did you have that kind of humour on set? It probably needed it. It was kind of, heavy duty.
Yeah, we had a good laugh on
story,
set, actually. Yeah. I think it's important. You're making a film. We were on set for 3 months. Unless you're enjoying it, then you might as well, I don't know, become a greengrocer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, talking about that, this is a behemoth of a character, and it requires so much energy and commitment. Did you hesitate for a second, or was it the opportunity to just do this so well?
Well, it was a great opportunity that I hesitated about. The stumbling block, the big hurdle, is the physical journey that one, you have to travel. So you have to kind of get your head around that first, because my initial reaction was not, oh yes, I'm a dead ringer, and then you look, yes, and then you think about the icon, the myth, the man, this arguably the greatest Briton who ever lived. So yeah, you hesitate, but at the end of the day, it was an incredible opportunity. It's a gift of a part, and I get to stand in a room at the end of the day and say, we shall fight you on the beaches, we shall fight you on the landing grounds. So I could not pass up on that opportunity.
Well, your remarkable achievement is that I completely forgot you, Gary Oldman. It was all of a sudden that character. And it's not because of the prosthetics, it's because of the emotional core of it. Was that also the biggest challenge, to completely erase yourself behind what Churchill was?
It was never an intent. I mean, with anything, you want to play and pretend to be someone else convincingly enough so that people follow it and go along with it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I play for a living and pretend. But I had a long time to work on it, and also sometimes actors and parts connect. It sparks.
Yeah, a bit of a meant to be situation.
Yeah, maybe, but it was just it was like after the work, after the prep and the work that we had done, and then after the rehearsal that Joe had organised 4 weeks of rehearsal where we could physicalise it and vocalise it. It was a bit like, it was like stepping into a very comfortable pair of shoes. It felt.
If you do your prep work, then you can enjoy the process, And Gary's one of those actors who, like all of the great actors, to be honest with you, who prepares, who understands that it's 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration, and you have to work really hard. And then when you arrive on set, you're able to let go and be free. But you can only do that if you've put the hard work in first.
I absolutely agree. And I think also the achievement of the narrative. I mean, I haven't grown up seeing Churchill as a flawed figure. It was always like the hero of World War II. That's how that's what the French history books portray him as. It was great to see the essence of him, the emotional core, the doubts, the what ifs.
Yeah, but I think that's important because unless you understand that he was human, I can't relate to him. And if I can't relate to him, I can't learn from him. There's no good. It's no good trying to kind of learn from someone who is totally untouchable and completely unlike me. I want to be able to identify, I guess, and find the similarities, and then build on that.
What would you say you discovered about him that was most surprising to you?
The most surprising thing, really going outside of all the written material, which is it's just gobs of it, tons of it. For me, I think, and for you too, looking at some of the early footage and seeing how energized and the vitality, the dynamism of the man, and as you say, almost like a manic energy, with this brain that's like whirling, that was, for some reason, I guess maybe it's some other interpretations of him that were a portrayal of him later in life. I had an image of an older, slower man. The motor was slower, and what you look for is a thing I call a running condition. Like, what is the running condition of the character? And we as individuals, we have them. And it's like a little wheel, it's like a little motor. And his was like spinning 1,000 miles an hour,
It was an extraordinary moment in time. And I think he was as portrayed, extraordinarily lonely in it. Was that the core of the story for you?
It was an element of the character, not necessarily the core of the story. The core of the story for me was about his words and his ability to use words to shape the course of history. But with that responsibility, to quote Spider-Man, comes with that power comes great responsibility, I guess it's lonely at the top, and he laboured under that. He had amazing people around him, like Clemmy, played by Kristen Scott Thomas, and. But really, it was his choice.
What do you think of that comparison with
Spider-Man? I think, well, as he says in the film, he makes these decisions, and he argues with Halifax at one point and says, that is why I sit in the chair. He wanted to be. He was...
ready for it.
He was ready for it, and he was an egoist. He wanted to get on in life and put himself in a position where you are likely to be placed in a top position of responsibility. But the loneliness that you talk about, that is also the sleight of hand that Joe does as a director, where you see me at one point in the black space in the elevator going up, or after the phone call with Roosevelt. You've purposely placed me as a lone figure. Yeah.
Before I have to go in very quickly, Oscars, what are your hopes and dreams? I have hopes and dreams for you. But
I think we're going to get 16 noms.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
17, I reckon.
A sweep.
Yeah, sweep. Just like the whole lot. Yeah.